And good afternoon. This is Brother Tyrone, your global national kingdom reporter. And let me tell you something. All of you know me as being part in the club. Being part of the lowrider community, like I always have. I always get more than just embrace. It's more of a red carpet treatment, as you can see. And what I'm doing today, right now, coming to you all the way from Northridge, where I traveled so far, and not to mention beating that traffic as well, also too. You figure traffic will be light on the weekend, but that's California for you. But I'm over here in Moreno Valley, and this is also a very first time for me as well, also too, because today, what you're going to be hearing, seeing, and hearing, and witnessing of not one, not two, but three. You're going to be hearing three members of a car club that has been around since 1972. I am talking about Techniques Car Club. Techniques has been around for 54 years, and for as long as I can remember. And not only that, they also had their 50-year anniversary, in which I had covered as well, also too. Today, and this is so exciting for me. Not just exciting, but this is a historic moment for me as they're going to share stories and reminisce. You can very much say a Saturday conversation amongst brothers, and just to let you all know, I have brought the lovely Connie, who is also the technical advisor as well, also too, and the son. I just want to put that out there, to let you all know, just to make sure that everything goes right and that everything goes smooth, and everything that you always wanted to know about a car club, even Techniques as well also. And like I said, what you're going to be hearing today is not nothing, no Google or no Wikipedia or anything. I like to introduce you to three of the members that you see. Brother Roland, who is the founder, and the brother in the middle, aka Mr. Clean, Brother Aaron, who is also the founding member. And also the last brother, always handsome looking as well, also too, Brother Johnnie, who came into the club a little bit later on. And I do want to take this time to all three of you for having me out here. And Roland, thank you so much for having for welcoming me in your home and for the hospitality as well. I thank you so much for that as well.
You're
also
so welcome.
I thank you so much for that. And before I begin as well also too, I also just want to say low riding, it's more than just cars. It's more than just cruising. It's about family, culture, and it's also a blend of artistry and community. Roland or Aaron, either or any of you three, but I'll get to you later on too, Johnny. So hold tight. Roland and Aaron, how did Techniques Car Club form, and what's the idea behind it, and whose idea was it, to form Techniques?
You want to check it?
Yeah, I think it was a mutual idea between Roland and I. We were friends in high school. We wanted to be a part of a car club, but we didn't want to be a part of any of the existing clubs. We just kind of wanted to go our own way. So that's kind of where the idea grew, and that's kind of where it grew from. It's just we wanted a club, but not be part of an existing club. So we decided to start our own, and then we started touching base with friends. Hey, we're going to start a car club. Do you want to join us? Then we actually drew my brother in because he had experience in car clubs from previous, and we wanted him because he'd be our technical advisor, kind of, but he had to be our first president, and we grew from there. We started in September. I think our first meeting was in September of '72. We talked about it in the summer.
Yeah, the prior before we were going to high school, and we started talking about before the summer came around, because back in those days, summer school or summer break was from June through September, right? So we started talking about it in June, I guess, and then come September, that's when we decided, let's get it together. You know, and both him and I, both Aaron and I, agreed, and that's when we started hitting up our friends, and that's when we started forming ideas. But we had actually formed ideas beforehand, right?
Yeah.
Club name, club colors, and everything. So when September came around, we already had it.
Things established. We
Yeah.
figured this is going to be our name. This is going to be our colors. You know, this is where we want to go. You know, we picked the name techniques because we wanted it to be different. The name, we wanted the name to stand for something, to mean something, not just catchy, nice name. You know, something that meant something.
Not like band names or not like all these names, you know, because a lot of clubs went that way. And we like the color because it's a classic color. It's a dark blue with a royal blue lettering. And as you can see, this was one of the original sweatshirts, okay, back when we were 16. And we developed this.
This was our first, because we first started out with jackets, because we didn't have plaques yet, and we had to struggle with that too, because everybody says, "Oh, you're just a jacket club." We said, "No, we're actually a car club. We just don't have our plaques yet." But we didn't want our jackets to be reflective of the plaque. We wanted just, again, different. We're really striving to be different, and so we went with this style until we got our plaques.
Because back in those days, there was only one company,
Yeah.
that made the plaques. And we had to go to Bell, California, and when we walked in there, they had different plaques, okay? But they also have, they used to have, back in those days, they used to have a background, And we saw that, and we wanted the freestanding letters. And at that time also, we didn't want to be known for one area only. We wanted to be able to welcome people from different parts of the city. So we had people from different areas because they weren't threatened by the rocker, which would have been on the bottom, which would have said LA, East LA, Southern Cal, whatever. We just wanted it to do everything. And we welcomed many people from different
As the club
neighborhoods.
grew, yeah, we had guys from all over. We would get a guy from Maywood or from City Terrace, and they would bring in their friends, and then you'd have a whole group of guys from this area, this group of guys from this area. And I mean, we did adopt East LA because it was just kind of like the thing back. Everybody was all the cartoons were from seemingly from East LA for the most part. We adopted that, although it's kind of funny because we started at Sure, which is in Montebello.
Yes, it was. We weren't even from East LA. Well, I actually did grow up in East LA.
And I lived in East LA.
Yeah, so we were
Montebello.
actually from there. But we started the club out of Sure High School in Montebello.
And our first, I think it was at least 9 of the 12 of us were from Sure.
Yes. But, you know, the funny thing about it, Sure High School was actually people from different cities.
Yeah.
Because it was a first-year high school. And the other established high school was Montebello High School. But we never went there. We went to Sure High School. And so we welcomed people from different areas. Okay? There was no animosity, huh?
No, we got along pretty much with everybody.
Yeah, we did. And that's why we always claimed Sure High School. I know that the club has grown into different chapters, even as far as Japan. And we got props to those guys. We give props to the guys from all the other chapters: Arizona, North Carolina, Texas, Fort Worth, Dallas,
Las Vegas.
We give props to them. As a matter of fact, even one of our lady members, Juanita, won Lowrider of the Year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we got that.
She got Woman of the Year also.
Yeah, she did. So we, give her props for that. because she did a lot for the lowriding up there in Vegas.
Okay.
We also got chapter in Colorado, and me, myself, and I know Aaron too, we're like, wow, you know, we never thought it would spread like this. Because back in the days, I mean, different cities had their different lowriders. I know parts of other cities or the state, Arizona or wherever, they had their own clubs. But now in this day and age, we just are thankful for we got chapters all over, right?
Yeah, I mean, we, you know, I had left the lowrider community for quite a while. When I came back around, because actually they tracked me down. The club tracked me down.
Yeah.
I was shocked and pleasantly surprised that the club was still going and that it expanded to the degree that it had expanded. Chapters, you know, spread out throughout the United States and in Japan. It just amazed me. Wow, so we started a baby concept. We started at 16 years old, and actually started when we both turned 17.
We were both 16.
And here, you know, I won't say how old we're going to be now, but but the club is still going 55 plus years now. You know,
something like that. 54, something.
I know personally, it's a point of pride that something that I was involved in. You know, we were involved in
Yeah,
back in the day is still blooming.
Back in the days, the clubs only lasted when you were in your teens. You know, once you got to a certain age, you would get out.
Start your family. I mean,
Yeah,
so
you know,
I got out because I started my family, and I left. You know, kind of put the plaque away and
Yeah,
go about life.
yeah. That's the way it was, and there were a lot of clubs that came out, and some died, some went dormant, some are still going. We reached the point where we're still going, and we're proud of that. We really are. And now other clubs respect us because at the point in time when we first started, we were a new club. So, you know, we just kind of,
We struggled for
Yeah.
recognition.
yeah. Because,
You know, people didn't want to take us serious.
right. But we are serious now. We're now respected. And, you know, there's a lot of people like Johnnie over here that took it even further. And other people, too many to mention, because we actually grew, you know, with a lot of people. And I can't remember all the names because there were so many. There were so many, and even some that we don't remember the names because, you know, they came in and out. But we always had a lot of members. We were always cruising strong. I mean, one of my biggest memories is always cruising on the boulevard, Whittier Boulevard in East LA with my brother Robert, who also was a hardcore member. And unfortunately, he's gone now. But like I say, we lost a lot of people along the way, and we're probably going to lose some more. But
Unfortunately.
yeah, that's just the way of the world. But there's always somebody to carry on.
Yeah.
You know?
Which also will lead into the next question. To my next question for you, Johnnie, as well. Also, too. How did what? Okay, the same what I had asked them, but also what first sparked, and you all three can answer as well, also too. What first sparked your passion for lowriders, and what was your first experience with the culture, Johnnie?
Seeing other clubs cruising down Whittier, when I lived the neighborhood I lived in, I'd always see Jesse Valdez from Imperials. Back then he had the Gypsy Roads. Pretty much, I'm pretty sure a lot of guys growing up like me, my age, we would see his car. So we're like, man, when he's not gonna get a car like that or something like that, that was kind of an incentive. Then we met more people down the line. You meet more people, and we met a couple guys from Group. You know, my brother was in another club, Orpheus, which we can't tell. We can't tell Roland.
Yeah.
But he was in Orpheus, so I saw those guys. So growing up, I said, you know, I'm gonna get me in a club eventually. You know, that was my thing.
It's similar for me as well. My brother was in the Sons of Soul, and he would take me down the boulevard with him cruising and associating with his friends, and so that got me into the mindset of being a lowrider and getting a car and in going that route when I got old enough, because I was kind of like, ooh, you know, this is so cool.
Yeah, my brother was in Midnight Classics, so he got me into that at first, and I liked it. You know, it was cool. You know, I liked the custom cars and all that. You know, and then we got into hydraulics. That's another whole story, man.
You don't miss the parties and all that. There were the parties.
Oh, there were parties.
which was a big contributing factor to wanting to get into the lowrider life. You know, life.
Yes, it was. We actually joined to meet girls, because you know that was the whole thing, right? Go to a party.
Yeah, because you know where the
Yeah.
girls seemed to follow clubs, you know, especially clubs that were popular that had good
Right.
parties, put on good parties, good dances. They would always draw girls, and that's where else. What better way to meet them than?
Yeah, and the hydraulics came. Oh my God, it was so primitive back then. They would actually. I know they have shops here now, and I know all the hydraulics are so sophisticated now. But back in those days, oh man, they used to. Well, can we go that way?
Well, which
They
is
used to steal the hydraulics from garbage
pumps
trucks.
from trucks.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where a lot of the pumps would come
Yeah,
from.
yeah, and you know and then so there were some guys like Jesse Mota. He's also
Don't
gone.
mention anything.
Well, he's gone.
Statute of limitations.
Yeah, he's gone. It doesn't matter. They can't arrest him no more. But my brother learned from him, so he used to lift our cars in the club, and the club was maturing. It was getting more and more people and more different cars. My brother had so many cars, different cars, that he has some beautiful cars. And he was a hardcore member. He brought in a bunch of guys too. And we just grew from there. And, well, he was lifting the cars, and unfortunately he's gone too, so they can't get him for limitations either. You know? But it was a great time. We used to cruise down the boulevard. I mean, it was so packed. It was so packed, and the sheriffs would always try and you know.
Some of it.
Yeah. Well, you know, but they couldn't scare us away, because if they chased us away from the boulevard, then we cruise the side streets. So that made the neighbors pissed off because we were cruising on their side streets. But no, I've always enjoyed that. I married my wife young, Barbara, and she would cruise with me. And we had our accidents. One time I remember my car, the thing for the hydraulics got stuck, and I had to take it off because it would have burned the car up. But no, she's always been, like I said, you know, I met her when I was 17, and she's been the love of my life.
You're welcome.
You know, we're still together. She is.
Look,
Okay. You want to take this story? Go ahead.
he blames me for being married. We were cruising down Wheater Boulevard back in the day, and they were having construction. I told him to turn where he shouldn't have turned. He got stopped, got a ticket. Went to a traffic school, and that's where he met his wife, and now he's still married to.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I mean,
If I would have told him to turn, he would have never been in traffic school.
exactly. And I still remember the night I met her. I still remember the way she looked and everything, you know. I guess to this day, I guess, like I say, she's the love of my life. So, you know, I mean, but that, taken away from the club story.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, but she's always been there behind us, and she's always supported the club, right? Yeah, she's always has. And this club has come a long way. This club has come a long way. We have beautiful cars now, and we have, here's the thing too now that, well, probably you're better off equipped with this, because now, and back in the days, we didn't let girls in the car club. They could have a thing right here on their front,
Right.
that said
Tickets.
Yeah, well, yeah, but now We got full-fledged members. Johnny could tell you better than I can about that. Why don't you take it tell him what that, Johnny?
Oh no, now it's nice because back then we would have arguments, fights with your girlfriend at the time, and not but being with the club is she wanted more time. Say she didn't like the car club stuff. You're dedicated, man. And if you're an officer or not, you're dedicated to your club. So if it was a dance, you invite your girl, say, hey, we're gonna go to a dance. You want to go? She'd say no. Well, I gotta go. I gotta be there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what happened. Then you got fights and arguments, and then breakups. But now the wives and the girlfriends are in with the club member, and that pays dividends, man. Because like I said, less fighting, get her involved, get your girl involved, and then even more so now, older gentlemen that are at the clubs, now the families are involved. You got the little kids, and then we have that bike club, and that's Marcelo's part of he's like president of the bike club. That's an awesome thing too, because they get them sprung with the bikes, and as they get older, maybe they're gonna get a car, maybe they want to get the car club also. Follow dad, follow brother, follow cousin. Like I said, getting the women is real nice. It's enjoyable. It's enjoyable. My wife, the girls, they get together, especially potlucks. Where would we be without, you know what I mean?
Right.
Where would we be with the potlucks without the women?
And
They feel they're awesome.
Some of the ladies have really beautiful cars.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Veronica's got a beautiful car, and what was he? I forget. Sometimes my memory's not.
Yeah. Well, Veronica and
Weta. Is that the pink car, right?
Pink 63.
Yeah.
Sexy 63.
They're beautiful
They
cars.
name their cars like Veronica's Mariposa. You've probably seen it
Yes,
before.
I sure have. Yes.
And then Sylvia had her ride. And
Yes.
The awesome thing with Sylvia, and you met Sylvia during the 50s, and before that, right?
Mm-hmm.
When her and I, they did our how do you say with our fallen members. She did a car called Afterlife.
Tribute.
Yeah.
The after, yes.
And that was awesome.
And don't forget Juanita with her.
With her bomb. Yeah.
Yeah. She's got a beautiful car too.
Yeah.
And
I've always told Sylvia, hey, I love that setup you got, because she would put up an altar when she would post up at a car show. She put her altar, right? Put pictures of the guys that we've lost, so they can tell these guys, go, hey, I used to tell them, look, it might sound a little weird, but I'm looking forward to that. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
I hear you.
I'm not looking forward to that.
Yeah. No,
That's a wall I don't want to be on yet.
I figured it's inevitable. It's inevitable. So when I pass away, if I told my wife, "You're still living," get a
You're
picture
still
of
living.
Sylvia so she could post it.
Okay, and folks, we're just getting started right. We're just getting started right now. We're going to take a little commercial break right here, and I am going to be coming back live with part 2 with more of the interview of the Tech Meets Car Club that has been around since 1972. And all of you that's tuning in, I appreciate it so much. Thank you all so much for watching. And like I said, even us reporters, we have to take a break also too. So please give me a few minutes and I will be right back. As they say in TV, got to go pay some bills, and I shall return. This is Brother Tyrone coming to you live from Moreno Valley.